I just made this texture for the spike strip, which will be, all this will be transparent. So what I'm going to do is export it as a DDS file, which if it's got a transparency, you got to use the compression type BC3 for it to work with the game. If you're exporting as a DDS, if you're using a PNG, then you don't have to worry about any of that. But DDSs they run better. They're better performing. So in Blender, I made this shape, which this is going to probably be too long. But what I'm going to do is put the texture on it. And I just have this car just for scale, just so I get an idea of what size to make this. So the image texture will be that spike strip. Well, the part without the spikes. And nothing ever goes, textures never do like you want them to when you first put them on something. So I just have to fix the UVs, which you just go into edit mode and pick the surface with the face select and turn on viewport shading. When in edit mode, you can just pick a face and then it'll show it over here, and then you can tell it how you want it to look, which I gotta rotate it. It's the wrong way. Which this isn't seamless, so you see where on the right you can see where it's not going to work like that. So that's the best it's going to get right there. And then I just have to shrink scale the object to fix the stretched. So I'll just scale it. So that's proportionate. I don't need to be that thick either. So we'll scale it this way. Now all this will be transparent. I just have to make sure that the UV maps or the sides are in the void over here, or you'll see this weird stuff on the side. And of course on the end, which there can be a little bit there. Just have to have it rotated the right way. Probably better to unwrap it. Well, you know what, I'm not going to worry about that. That's just going to be more work than it's worth. That's what I was trying to do, just put a little something. Like that. That's all I was trying to do. Probably the same thing on this end. And then the bottom. Oh, I got the top scaled a little more than the bottom. Guess I should just make them so they're like that. So they're the same or close to it anyway. So I think I can move this up just a bit. That's close enough. Yeah. Oh, I see what I did. I got the damn top. I was like, why is it not lining up? But you just want something on the bottom so it flips over. It won't look funny if the texture's not fixed. So we'll just save this as it is. Just call it spike strip. Alright, now the next thing, in edit mode here, I need to subdivide this a few times. Maybe this should be a little, I don't know, should it be a little more narrow? Or is that's probably fine, I guess. Alright, we're going to subdivide it. Select all, hit A, edge, subdivide, and one more edge, subdivide. Now with everything selected, I'm going to go to Mesh JBeam Nodes Connector. That's going to reinforce this thing. Connect all the little vertices to one another. So it's super strong. Now I'm going to get rid of this light, this camera, and I'm going to rename the texture map to spike strip. And I'm going to also use this as the JBeam, so I'm going to call this spike strip. Right now what I have to do is just take another mod that there's a mod over here that I just did yesterday. I'll use it so I don't have to rewrite everything. I just extract it here. And rename it. And this is what I'll say and you do with your mods. When I shared that mod yesterday of this, you just rename the stuff and make it your own, basically. You start by renaming the folder, then you go into the mod info, and then you go into the hip here and you change this to the new mod. Put your name in there, save it. Then you change the folder that's in the vehicles to the name of the mod. Open it up. You are not going to use the model, the DAE from the other mod, so you can delete that and delete the textures that are in there and delete the default. Now what I'll do is let me go back into Blender. The name of the texture spikestrip.dds. Alright, so now what I'll do is let me get this off the ground, because this is going to be where the mod spawns. I have to get it up just a bit so it's above the ground. The yellow or the red line, or if you're in this view, it's the green line. You just want it off the ground. I mean out of the ground, but on top. So now I'll apply all transforms. And export this. Copy the textures. Change that to render. So I'm not sure what that does actually. That's just what the developer had said to do in one of his videos I watched. So mods, unpack, spike strip, vehicles, spike strip, and this is where it'll go. Export collider. Now I'll just have to export this JBeam, which I'll file, export JBeam spike strip. So there it went. In the export folder, there's spike strip JBeam, and in here is the alien. I have to rename this to spike strip. And in the materials, I have to change this to the name of the texture, which it is spike strip. And I'll just copy this, save a little time, paste, paste. All three are the same name, and it is spikestrip.dds. Ground type what is it gonna be? That's the way the tires interact with it. I guess it'd be metal. I'm not sure if that's a ground type though. I have to look at the material editor when I get it loaded. Which this right now is not going to be a second texture yet. So I'll just delete this for the time being, because it's nothing. I haven't made one yet. It's going to be for the little metal tips though, which I'll probably just make those just reflective. Just reflect the level environment as a reflection. That's probably what I'll do. I'll save this. Now I'll pull in the JBeam that was exported, that spike strip, into Notepad++, and I'll bring in the damn, they're named the same thing, aren't they? This just needs to be named something different so it don't confuse me. Right now they renamed it, so that's what I exported from Blender. Now this is the one from the old mod that I said I was just gonna redo the stuff in it. So I'll put this in the other view. Why does it do that shit? Damn. It doesn't put the right one over there where you tell it. Alright, so it's not alien, it's going to be spike strip. The mesh is, what is the name of the mesh? Spike strip. If there was a second mesh, you'd put it under it, or a third or fourth or a 25th, however many. You just keep adding them just like they are here. And each one has to have its own unique group name, but you make that up. That doesn't have to be anything in particular, it's just whatever you put. I'll just put letter A. And then of course right here, the group, you put letter A. And if there was a second group, you just copy paste this and just change the A to B or C or D, however many there are, which I picked A. Now the next thing is you just replace the nodes from the previous mod with the nodes from the new exported mod, and you just drag them and drop them right in there. Then you go down to the beams and you get rid of the old beams from the old mod and replace them with the beams. That's a lot of damn beams for that spike strip. I think I subdivided that thing one too many times. That is a lot of damn beams for that damn shit. 5,000 beams. Didn't need to be that many. But I tell you, it'll be sturdy. You can count on that. Which probably needs to be. And drag that into there. About the limit, I don't know if it's a memory limit for my 16 gigs, but I know if there's 50,000 lines in here, that's about the maximum that a mod can go. Well, as far as I got one to go without crashing. So those are the triangles I was talking. But yeah, you just remove the old triangles and you take the new triangles and you just delete the old ones and copy the new ones into there. And that's pretty much it. That should load up now when I load up the level. Save. Now I'll do one more thing that I didn't do in the other video. I'll put some reference nodes in it I'll load this beam editor, and I'll take the mod, the JBeam of the spike strip, and drag it into here. Now I'm not 100% sure which one of these actually is supposed to be which one, but I thought the reference node is where the red and green come together, the closest node to that point, which in this case would be N48, which you can turn on the nodes to see which nodes are vertices, plain and simple. They're the vertices from Blender, but they're just called nodes. And here, so you got this reference node here in between these quotation marks. You just put in N48 for the reference, and then what's in the back, I guess the back would be, well, what if we say it's a pain in the ass to navigate with these. You gotta use like 1, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6 on the number pad to move around in here. And you can use your mouse wheel to scroll. It looks like NL41. I'll put that for the back. If you don't have reference nodes, the camera just acts crazy as shit. It'll just be bouncing around. And it looks like that's NL10. It's so hard to see. Yeah, it looks like that's N10. And N14 would be the top. Which there is a picture the developers have. I'm sorry, N14 is the top. Which basically it's like whatever's the closest to the intersection of red and green will be the reference. And then whatever you want to be the back, and what you want to be considered the left side, and then what is the top is what's above the left. And that this is like determines, like if this was a car, which one of these crosses the finish line first, which node determines, okay, this is the first node. See, I'm not 100% sure which one's which. It's in here in the damn wiki. But I'm not sure which one of these, which page I was in when I was looking at it. I think it may not even be this one. It may be if this is the old one or the new one. Reference nodes. See, this isn't the one that's got the photo. There was one with a photograph that showed like which one's which. So it wasn't the wiki. I'm not sure which one it was in. I think that's the same one I'm in now. Yeah, it's the same one. That's the documentation is what I'm trying to think. Here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Reference node, the back, the left, and up. Oh, up is directly above the reference. So I'm right. That's just the only one I got wrong is the up. And it just depends on the object, whatever you're making. So the up would be, if I can tell what it is, N49 would be up. N49. Now save. Now I'm gonna load the game and see what this thing does. Load my new level. I didn't do a screenshot yet for the spike strip, so it won't have a picture. It'll just be no picture. No texture. But at least it spawned, right? And you know, gotta fix some things on it, obviously. If I had a nickel for every time I had a no texture, I have quite a bit of money. See what the problem is. Something spelled wrong. Oh, I didn't look at that. It's looking in alien. See that? Alien. It's not where it's at. I didn't change that. I overlooked it. Alright, unpack. Spike strip. Vehicle spike strip. Main materials.json. See right there? It's looking for that in the wrong place. So that's why it didn't load. Now sometimes you gotta delete the damn temp stuff, the temp folder stuff to fix a problem. I hope this ain't one of them times, but I guess I could just go ahead and delete the stuff in there, so I don't have to. Cause I'll probably end up having to do it anyway. If you go into like the mod folder, there's the current version folder is vehicles folder. You'll have sometimes you'll have it in here. You have to delete it. And then in the temp folder in the vehicles, I just delete that. Not make a shortcut, delete. And even delete the database. I don't know if you have to. I do it because I don't want it to be confused with what it loaded a little while ago. Not sure which exactly what. I'll exit the game completely. Because I've seen it where there's been times where you can't fix a texture no matter what you do until you delete that stuff. There we go. Had my fingers crossed, y'all. The whole time I had it crossed. Alright, so we're going to make that transparent. Just go into advanced and alpha clip. And that'll remove the fringes and stuff. Double-sided. whether it's double-sided or not, which you want it double-sided probably for this. Reflection, reflect the level some, not that much, just a little lighting. Which I have to give it a reflectivity map, which I'm gonna be a cheap bastard, and I'm just gonna give it its own texture. I'm not gonna make an actual map, which is probably better. So it's got a little reflective, just a little. And this ain't using PBR materials. You know, I found that stuff works great on cars, but some things in here, some objects and stuff, it just doesn't make that much difference. In fact, some of the 1.0 materials look better in my opinion. That's my opinion. Alright, so I think this thing might be I guess we do kind of want it heavy, right? Oh yeah, save your damn material. You'll come back wondering why it's still looking funny. And it's kind of got a wiggle to it. The only thing I don't like is how it's so thin that it's going into the ground some. Which if we have a road here, let's just put a decal of a road. Alright, I'm sure there's one in here. This is small island, so whatever small island's got should be one. Concrete, no asphalt. Okay, see, that's the same damn texture as I got on the ground. You know what? This dirt road. I know there's a dirt road in here. Oh, you know what? I bet that damn asphalt render priority needed to be up some more. Yeah, sometimes you gotta screw with the render priority. I don't know. I ain't sure what the deal is with that, but sometimes you gotta do it. So yeah, you can see how this bike strip, how it's so thin that it's going into the right on the damn ground basically. Which it ain't such a problem if it's on an object like this, you see. But when you lay it flat, it can be a problem. So, I mean, you just make it a little wider. That's about what you'd have to do. Which then you gotta scale the object. Scale it on the Z axis to make it taller. And make sure you're not going in the ground. What you do when you scale, when you just want to scale something taller, is you can tell it scale to median point. So when you scaling up or down, which that ain't the right one, that's moving it. Hell, I don't know. I thought that's what that did. Guess I'm wrong. Alright, so we scaled it up, we export it, we overwrite the file that's already in there. And this is the model. Now we have to oh shit, I didn't apply all transforms. export the model again over the other model, and export the JBeam again. But this time we don't have to copy much. We just copy in just the very basics. Which it should have told me in here. Oh, you know what it did? Remember, I renamed it. Which all we have to do now is just copy the nodes over, because that's the only thing that's changed is the nodes, the location, and the XYZ. It's the only thing that you have to do when you scale something like a mod. So now I can save it and reload the level, and it'll have a new height to it. And then the next thing will be putting the spikes on it, which I'll do that later. I'll take a break. So the spikes, I already know how I'll do those. Question is, are they going to be effective? That's the question. Now I need to put a little preview picture too. Alright, so yeah, this is the new one, as you can see. It's on the ground. It's still kind of going in the ground a little, but not near as bad. Well, shit, maybe it is, isn't it? Does it look wider? I don't want it too wide. It's going to look funny because it's going to be looking. Once the spikes are on there, it'll be better. You know what I mean? It'll be better because it'll have something to stick up. That is crazy though. Which this could have something to do with the type of. No, that ain't what I'm trying to do. Too much pressure. I don't think this is going to make any difference whatsoever as far as running over it at this point. But we can run over it and see. But it's not going to do anything, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm seeing here? This terrain's screwed up. You see that there? There's nothing there for it to be seen in. I had the same problem when I redid grid map. But anyway, I'm gonna zip this thing up and put it on OneDrive if anybody wants to, see it now in its work in progress stage. And as I update it, I'll update the mod to download as I get more done to it.